Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Alicia, and as some of you know, I have been recently inspired to create content on missing people. As weird as that sounds. I've always been interested in it, just in case you're interested in knowing why. But this week for today's video, I have put together a pretty interesting group of cold case vanishings. All three of these cases are involving minors. They have all vanished from different states in the United States, and they all vanished more than 20 years ago. So I hope to see you back every week, every Monday it looks like, for new videos so far. And if you have any suggestions for new cases, please send them to me in the email in the description box below. Thank you for watching again, and let's jump right in. November 23rd, 1985, El Monte, California. A 15-year-old girl disappears on a day like any other. She has now been missing over 30 years. Unfortunately, details are extremely vague in Angelica's case. Initially, Angelica was reported as a runaway, meaning there would be no media coverage of her case. Not even a milk carton photo of Angelica would go out. However, over 15 years after her disappearance, she would be relisted and renamed as an endangered person, but she has never been seen again. I would also like to quickly note that there were no Amber Alerts taking place prior to 1996, so that wouldn't have been an option in Angelica's case, unfortunately. There have since been no updates in Angelica's case. No sightings of her have been reported, and it is unknown whether or not there are any living relatives still looking for answers in her case. At the time of her disappearance, Angelica Maria Longoria stood 4'8". She weighed 95 pounds. She was Hispanic with brown hair, brown eyes, a scar under her right eye, and her left front tooth was chipped. If you have any information in her case, you are urged to contact the El Monte Police Department at the number listed on the screen now. In the early 90s, it was common for children to play outside without any adult supervision, but on March 27, 1991, all but one child would return home, little Megan Garner. So about 27 years ago, Megan Garner enjoyed an early spring afternoon with her brother and cousin at a playground located at their apartment complex. Back then, the building was located on the 4600 block of Paluxy Drive in Tyler, Texas. Melanie Jackson would never see her daughter again. Megan's brother and cousin were interviewed at the time of her disappearance, and they simply stated that they were all playing at the playground in the early morning hours. They had turned away for just a moment, and in that moment is when Megan had vanished. Although there have been no further details in more than 20 years, Detective James Holt, who is in charge of this case, was quoted as saying that he reviews the case file every few months to make sure he hasn't missed anything. Megan Garner was last seen wearing a long-sleeve pink, blue, and green t-shirt with horizontal stripes, pink corduroy pants, blue socks, blue and white Reebok sneakers with blue trim. She had brown hair and brown eyes, and she was 3 years old at the time of her disappearance. If you have any information, you are urged to contact the Tyler, Texas Police Department at the number listed on your screen now. May 28, 1969, Sterling, Illinois. A young boy and his sister attempt to save a dying pigeon. Turns out, it wouldn't be the bird that needed to be saved. As the oldest missing persons case in Sterling, Illinois goes, 9-year-old James Howell was playing in the front yard of his home located on the 1300 block of West Sterling Street with his sister. They were attempting to build a small shelter for an injured bird. When James's sister went inside for tools, James had vanished. The only trace of James ever left behind would be pieces of the wood used to make the bird cage scattered all over the road leading away from his home. But that was almost 50 years ago. Prior to his disappearance, we know that James was a hyperactive child and was being medicated with tranquilizers for this. He was in 3rd grade and he loved animals. But in the early 1960s, James's parents went through a divorce, and this would be a very trying time for him. James would be placed in an orphanage and a foster home until late 1968, when he would return to the care of his mother, Sharon, his stepdad, Cornell, and his sister, Deborah. All family members were cleared by polygraph testing in 1998, and not a trace of James was ever seen or heard from again. Although there had been a month-long search, over 400 people had scoured the banks of Elkhorn Creek and Rock River, along with the combined wooded areas and gravel pits surrounding those two areas. There had also been reports that he might have been seen near Route 30 Bridge by Indian Ridge, and a cistern at 515 Woodburn Avenue, and possibly at the Crystal Lake Water Park and Shopping Center, but none of these ever panned out. Unfortunately, Sharon died in the early 1990s, and Deborah continues to look for him today. James Richard Howell was 4 foot 5 inches tall and weighed 79 pounds at the time he went missing at 9 years old. James was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. He had brown hair and brown eyes. Again, he was last seen playing with his sister outside the family home. This was on the 1300 block of West Sterling Street. 49 years have passed since his disappearance, and it is time to bring James home. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up my video for today. I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you like and subscribe. I will see you back next week for more creepy content. Have a great Halloween week. And stay safe.